Alcohol. Alcohol doesn't make you social. It makes you forget why you were anxious in the first place. The first drink loosens something, your shoulders drop, and your thoughts start to quiet. That version of you that worries about everything takes a back seat. It feels like freedom. It feels like the real you is finally showing up. But your brain is taking notes. It remembers that alcohol fixed the discomfort. Next time discomfort shows up, it sends a craving. Not for the drink, but for the relief. Over time, the gap between who you are sober and who you feel like drinking gets wider. You develop the skills to handle stress, awkwardness, and silence because alcohol keeps handling them for you. The trap isn't the drinking. It's that you slowly stop believing you can function without it. Nicotine. Nicotine is the only drug that makes you feel calm by using the problem it's solving. Every cigarette creates a withdrawal cycle. The anxiety you feel before lighting up isn't life stress, it's your brain running low on nicotine. The smoke relieves it. You feel better. You credit the cigarette with calming you down, when really it just ended the withdrawal that it was starting. Smokers don't smoke because life is hard. They smoke because not smoking feels harder. The addiction disguises itself as a coping mechanism. You think it's helping you handle pressure, but it's generating the pressure and then charging you to fix it. The trap is that it never feels like a trap. It feels like relief every time. Social media. There's no high, there's no substance, and there's no come down that you can point to, and that's what makes it so effective. Every notification is a small dopamine hit. Every like, every reply, every new follower, your brain starts organizing your behavior around chasing those hits without you ever deciding to. You pick up your phone without thinking. You open apps that you had just closed. You scroll and you don't even read anything. The mechanism is a variable reward. You don't know when the next good thing is going to appear, so you just keep checking. It's the same psychology as a slot machine. Casinos didn't invent it, they just figured it out first and they mastered it. The trap is that it doesn't feel like an addiction. It feels like you're staying connected with your friends and your family. By the time you notice it's a problem, it's already restructured how your brain handles boredom, silence, and being alone with your thoughts. Gambling. Gambling doesn't hook you with winning. It hooks you with almost winning. The near miss is the most dangerous moment in gambling because your brain processes it almost identically to an actual win. The dopamine fires, the excitement spikes, and your brain logs it as a reason to keep playing, not a reason to stop. Losses get reframed as lessons. Bad runs get reframed as a streak that's about to turn good for you. The gambler's logic is airtight from the inside. You're always one bet away from being right. You're always one card away from winning big. The trap is that the game is designed around this. The house doesn't need you to lose every time. It just needs you to stay at the table long enough. Your own brain is working against you, turning every loss into motivation to continue. Work. Nobody stages an intervention for a workaholic, and that's the problem. Work addiction is the only addiction that gets rewarded. Promotions, raises, identity. The harder you work, the more the world tells you that you're doing something right. So you work more, not because the work demands it, but because stopping feels worse than continuing. The mechanism is control. Work gives you a place where effort produces results. Life doesn't always do that. Relationships are messy, emotions are unpredictable, but a task list is manageable. So you stay in the place that feels manageable and you call it ambition. The trap is that you can spend decades being productive and completely avoid being present. You build a life that looks impressive from the outside and feels hollow from the inside. And because nobody ever told you to slow down, you never did. Food. Food addiction isn't about hunger. It's about what eating does to your emotional state. Highly processed food is engineered to hit dopamine receptors harder than the whole food industry ever could. The combination of fat, sugar, and salt doesn't exist in nature in those concentrations. Your brain wasn't built to handle it. It's overload. So when it arrives, the reward signal is disproportionate, bigger than the food deserves. Over time, normal food stops feeling satisfying. Your baseline shifts, and you need more to feel the same thing. And because food is legal, available everywhere, and socially encouraged, there's no moment where the behavior gets flagged as a problem. The trap isn't that you're weak. You're up against a product that was specifically designed to override your self-control. The food industry spent billions figuring out exactly how to make it past the point of fullness. You're not losing a battle with yourself, you're losing a battle with engineers. Validation. This one doesn't have a substance. It doesn't have a category. Most people never name it. Validation addiction is the need for external approval to feel okay about yourself. It starts early. A parent's praise, a teacher's attention, the feeling that you exist correctly when someone confirms it. Over time, that feeling becomes a requirement. You make decisions based on how they'll be perceived. You share achievements not to celebrate them, but to have them witnessed. You feel fine until you're alone, and then the quiet gets really loud. The mechanism is that your sense of self never fully formed independently. It formed in relation with other people's reactions, so you keep going back to those reactions to feel stable. The trap is that no amount of approval ever fills it permanently. You get the validation for a minute, it works for a little bit, and then it fades and you need more. The people who seem the most confident are sometimes the most dependent on this cycle. They've just gotten very good at chasing it. Every addiction follows the same architecture. Something relieves a discomfort. Your brain remembers, and then you go back. The thing that helped you cope becomes a thing that you need to cope with. The relief becomes the requirement. And that's the trap. And by the time most people see it, they've already been caught. If you enjoyed this and want to learn more about you, please subscribe.